Okay. So we're gonna go over mechanics today. Like I said, and the classes we're gonna do are in a classroom session. The couple of reasons for this: first off, a lot of the stuff is needs an entire field to go over, so that doesn't make sense for a gym with how big our. So we're just gonna get into it. I am gonna start off with the new rules and the waiver. Reason being is next week we will be, I'll be going to the section 6 meeting, let the coaches know, so I want to make sure we're all on the same page. And I'm also hoping that if there's any new questions, I've already heard them here. So our rule differences, there are gonna be some big ones, there are gonna be some that I think are, not huge. This is not a really big one in my opinion, but I think it will become, with some parents, coaches, it will be a bit of an issue.
Sorry, before you get rolling, is this all gonna be on the website too, or is that?
Not all this is gonna be on the website. We've got the rule differences. There will be a presentation, but, I'm still working on that.
Will you upload it eventually?
Probably, yeah.
Okay,
Probably something that, the thing is, I don't want to put out the whole file, 'cause it's a big file.
that's fine. I just don't know if I want to start writing or.
Right.
Put it up there.
So,
You said that thing.
everybody write one and we'll put it all together. So, I don't want to make promises, but I'm good. Okay, so they are no longer allowed to switch to the visitor side, even if they're going to the back up battery. This is gonna be one I'm gonna do my best to tell coaches. You guys need to enforce that. We shouldn't be dealing with parents who don't want to, the fact is, Young Dave's been doing it for years now. They do it all throughout the summer. These are not, again, we didn't vote on these rules, so these are the rules now. But do not let them switch. Somebody asked the opening day, they said, well, if we don't let them switch and somebody gets hurt, is that going to be something that, we're liable for? No, you're liable now if you allow them to switch over thinking that, they're gonna be safer over there. Don't allow it. Media, so this is gonna be for yearbook staff, it's gonna be for the Buffalo News people, all that. During live ball, media cannot be on the field. They can't be out there with a unipod, a tripod, they can't be out there at all. Up until this point, they were allowed to be past first and third base with a unipod, and that was fine. That is no longer the case.
And let's just, what if the home pool, the semicircle by the fence, say, that's meeting area?
Then is it on the field play?
Yeah.
That's a very nice media area you made, but nobody's standing there.
Okay, I just want
Yeah,
to make
no,
sure.
I get what you're saying. I'm not trying, that's not to you. That's gonna be my,
Well,
that's a beautiful area created right there.
So
Yep.
I just want to make sure.
If it's on the field of play, then they made a choice. Okay, batting helmets, I don't know I've never seen one of these before, but they are allowed to have an eye shield on their batting helmet now. If they have it, it needs to be clear. If there's any color or tint to it, it is illegal. Like I said, I've yet to see one, but if you do, it needs to be clear. And yes,
Is that also fielder commands as well?
no, they can have sunglasses on as fielders.
No, but I mean, five of them.
You know what? I'll check on that. When it says specifically batters helmets,
Okay.
I would say fielders helmets, you're probably okay, because the whole thing is actually about if there's a concussion where the fielders want, they can unstrap the mask. I would say at this point, I'll let you know if that's not the case. But they put in there that it is for batting helmets. If it's fielders as well, I'll let you know that. No problem. Any defective equipment, so we're gonna get into it, we're not checking equipment. With that being said, we still do need to know what is considered appropriate and inappropriate equipment. If we have something that is defective, it's not working, or it's not allowed, we are going, the first time, they get a warning. The second time that that equipment comes out, the player is going to be restricted to the bench. Okay, so I was joking with a coach, about a month ago, who said, how about these federation rules? Said, listen, you're gonna be really happy if you want your players riding pine or if you want to be riding pine. There are way more ways now for coaches to get not ejected, but restricted to the bench.
Dan,
Yes, sir.
if you get another person coming in with defective equipment, is that
Yeah.
added on to that?
Keep on going. If it's the same piece of equipment though.
It's gotta be the same.
Same piece of equipment. It can't be like, hey, that screw, that helmet is missing a screw, or it's got two screws and it's wobbling. Then the girl brings and you say, put it away. She comes out with it again, with her lucky helmet. Now you've got to set the match. Now another girl comes out and her face mask is jacked up or something like that. That's a whole new, correct. That's where it is. So. There it is. It was there, I was getting that mic. Am I getting mic down? Hello? No, that's just my voice. Okay. Butt attempt. They have to pull back now. It's not that they have to offer, it is that they have to pull the bat back in order for it to be a ball. Okay, collapsible fence. So. The fence, the top of the fence is going to be your out of play line until that fence becomes horizontal. Once the fence becomes horizontal, now the bottom of the fence will become your out of play line. It used to be with USA that if the fence fell down, the top of the fence was still our out of play line. Now the case is, once it is top of the fence until it becomes horizontal. So we're gonna use this play right here with this young lady. We have that hit. Okay, beautiful catch, great catch. We're gonna see the replay in just a moment. These umpires, I don't care what rule set they're using, they messed up. Fence is messed up too. So. The deal here is, this would be a catch and carry, which means that our one should have gotten second base. And the batter would be out. Also known as pretty big run in the game. Yeah. Here's your game winning runs that just got, put in. So right here, she hits the ball. As it's going through, it is still the top of the fence. So she starts going through the fence, even though the ball's not caught when she starts. We're good, we're good, we're good. It's still the top of the fence, still the top of the fence. Now it is the bottom of the fence. Now, if she's over the top of the fence and supporting herself, just like it was with USA, it is still a catch and carry at that point. She's left flag ball territory. But if she's standing on the fence, once it is horizontal, now it's a stand the fence, she's out of play. Okay, Dave.
So, let's say you said, once it's horizontal and she is standing, and let's say that she catches the ball, that'll be a home run.
That's gonna be a home run, correct? Correct. Because now she's past the home run fence where it was first time, correct?
Just real quick,
No, you're fine.
with the runner on base, though, they would have to get back to the original base that they were on, because it's out ball, right?
They would have to go back. So at that point, it would be a catch and carry. So now we're going to have dead ball. We have an out. The runner is awarded second base.
Okay.
So if she was leading off already, now if she was tied up, she's fine. If she led off
Right.
when that ball was first touched, we're gonna award her second, but she's gotta go back, touch first, and then go to second. Otherwise, that can be appealed.
Okay.
Okay? She still is responsible for all of her duties as far as touching the bases. Jesus.
If she was to leave early and not repay, she has to fulfill the base running obligation, again, instead of paying in advance. If she touches second base, she cannot come back to touch first, and then pay them. Once she touches the base in front of it,
Yeah,
it's gonna negate her going back.
correct.
Right.
Okay?
Okay, got it, thank you.
Okay, your pregame conference, not a lot of coaches, but a couple would send out an assistant. The head coach needs to be there for the pregame conference. It is, we don't care if there's captains, we don't care if there's assistant coaches, but the head coach must be there. That's really important now because of the penalties that are out there, okay? Because the head coach is the first one to get restricted. Okay, if we know, if any of you are saying that we have coaches playing games, you know, you go to Iroquois and the head coach sends out his assistant. The head coach sends out his assistant and they're playing that game, please let me know so we can get that record. Yes,
Show up in the field, we don't know who the head coach is.
yeah,
Whoever shows up,
is the head coach,
congratulations, you've been promoted to head coach.
correct.
Position, anybody who comes out afterwards claiming that they're the head coach.
No,
I didn't throw out the head coach, so you are not the head coach.
it's whoever's out there for ground rules is the head coach. I'll be, like I said, next week, I will be stressing the head coach needs to be out there. If they, you know, somebody got demoted and somebody got promoted that day, I don't know. But if we, like I said, if we know somebody's playing games, we'll nip that in the bud. With the section, with the school, with the chair, but I'm not going to say, wait a second, you're not the head coach. No. Unreported subs, this is a big, it was always, in the past that when we had unreported subs, we would just put who the, if they brought it to our attention, we said, thank you for bringing that to my attention. Now we're gonna put that player in just as if they did report it. Now, if they do this, we have an unreported sub. The first time, it's a warning. The second time, the head coach and the unreported sub are both restricted to the bench for the remainder of the game. That's a pretty stiff penalty. With that also being said, I'm gonna tell everybody, if you have any types of warnings in your game, write them down on your lineup card, okay? So that nobody says, no, you didn't warn me about that. No, coach, I warned you back in the third inning. Okay, make sure you have that because I get like, none of us want to see that happen. I don't want them to be restricted. But the fact is, I don't want to try to be the nice guy when the other team goes, wait a second, isn't that coach supposed to be restricted to bench for the game? So write it down. Just like you do with your, with all of your conferences, and make sure that you're ready for that. Also, unreported subs, it doesn't mean anything gets negated. It is just all play stands, we just now start putting people on the bench. And now, the first time, they just put them in the game properly. Second time also, I hope you have a real sub that can go in. Pitchers, a few different rules for pitching. The pitcher's removed from the pitching position, she may return once per inning. USA, she could leave and come back. Have I seen a lot of pitchers leave and come back multiple times? No, I've probably seen it happen 5 times in the whole time that I'm umpiring. But she can only return once.
One per inning or?
Per inning. Per inning. USA, you can come back 30 times per inning. It's a really bad inning. Okay, coach goes, yep, I had all 29 others try pitching and number 1 is gonna be the one. Previous batter, if we have runner leaving the game, there's no sub. So we have a girl that hits a ground rule double and there's no subs. What they can do is they can take the previous batter not on base and they can put her and let her run the bases that time. Next time she comes around to hit, she's taking an out. Okay, but if she's just filling in for running or you know, she rounds first, twists her ankle, but she gets back to first. They can bring in the last batter who is not currently on base to fulfill those running obligations. There.
If that same runner comes back up to bat, she can bat again. She's still got a limit, coach on his sub again for.
You can sub.
do it
He
again.
gets, it's not that they can, no. What I'm sorry, yes, I'm sorry, I reversed the thing. If she gets on base, If she needs a runner, yeah, you're fine with that. Now. Somebody said that it could be abused, I said, yeah, it could, but we're not gonna have a, finish, Barry, no, I'm sorry, I got it. But,
I don't know if I'm gonna get this bad, I apologize for asking. So that situation she gets into,
mhm,
does that coach have the option of putting in?
sure, yeah,
Or use the last?
the thing is here, it is with no subs available. It's gotta be that there are no subs available,
No subs again.
okay? Didn't catch that, No. Andre, what's up?
Oh, no, you're gonna have to.
I answered it perfect. Yes, sir.
Let's go back to that. If, okay, say Banner rounds first, twists an ankle, gets back, she's safe. Now the coach puts in somebody to run for her as because she's in.
Yeah.
But she goes back, she gets wrapped up and.
She can bat again.
She can bat again, but is she re-entering at that point?
No, she's never left the game.
Okay,
It's not, it is not, it has nothing to do with subs here. That's why it is with no subs. She's never left the game. She's part of the game still. They're letting the other runner finish up the running duties. But
Just to be clear, your question was that player got injured with no subs available on the bench.
no, I didn't specify.
he didn't specify that, I assume, but if that happens, if the batter's not actually leaving the game, you leave her there, but they put another runner, but they put the runner on.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, signs of concussion. So if we see at all a player that we think might have a sign of concussion, or you are told this player might have a concussion, they need to be cleared by a medical professional before they can return to the field. If they don't get cleared by, and mom who says, I'm a nurse at, ECMC, she does not count. We need a medical professional that the school recognizes to clear them for a concussion. That? Sure. Illegal players. If we have any illegal substitutes in here. If it's discovered after the ball comes live, players taking position on offense. They're still on base, they're gonna be called out. On defense, the coach has the choice of replaying the pitch or taking the result of the play. In either case, the player is done for the game. No warning, done. We don't see a lot of illegal subs. My best tip to make sure you don't have illegal subs, keep a good lineup card, okay? Under 3-4, I don't know, Dennis, I'm gonna be honest, I'd like to, I'm just trying to get a lot done.
It's in the case, though, for you guys.
It's on, literally, if you guys write pool 3-4, that's what's there. Yeah. Inspecting equipment, we're no longer inspecting equipment. With that being said, the head coach is responsible for their equipment. Also with that, something that was brought up at the state meeting that also we need to stress. We are still going to ask, coach, are all your players legally and properly equipped? The answer we must receive is yes, absolutely, something that unequivocally says yes. We don't accept, to the best of my knowledge, we don't accept, I believe so, it is yes. If they say any of those other things, coach, better go check it, because we're not playing the game until you can give me a yes, okay? I know coaches were doing that, I had coaches doing that with me, and I always accepted it, but with that, we were also checking the equipment, so I had the confidence that we did a good job of that. Now, this question was asked, like I said, because we have no responsibility there. They want it, they got it. If they remove lines from the field purposefully. If the offense does it, it's a strike on the batter. If the defense does it, it is a ball on the batter. If they do it on turf, the police will be called for defacing school property. Okay, so there are penalties now for intentionally removing the lines.
Is that including like the batters?
That is especially for the batter's box. There's mostly there for, the rule is actually mostly there for like a slapper who comes up and kicks out. What's that, Mark?
I kicked the box up for 35 years.
Well, catch you. It's a good thing you're not playing now, man. Yeah, I hear you. You know what? They're called that the Moretti rule. Because of you.
On that. Rule number.
3617.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
on that, would it be, move us to, they start doing it, say, pop it,
just call strike. Call strike.
okay,
And here's, we were told
okay.
very much, like multiple times. We were told, these are the rules that they're going with, these are the rules we're enforcing. So, that was, at the clinicians meeting, that was said over and over as we were questioning things. These are the rules they want, we're going to enforce the rules they want. So, yes, Emily.
I mean, high school's probably not as bad as like summer can be, but like, I definitely picked out a batter's box that was wide wrong.
That, well, then,
That's. we're not-
so here's the same deal, it's the same thing like when you rough up the ball
Yeah,
as compared to the pitcher, you did. If it's wrong, I did that,
Yeah.
okay?
okay.
If they, you know what? If I'll do the same thing, call a strikeout. He'll show me and I'll make sure not to do it again, okay? But the fact is, like I said, we did, again, like I said at the meeting, we didn't choose them. We were told, this is what the state has voted for, because this is what they want. So with that being said, this is what we're being told to enforce. There are some things in here that I went, are you kidding? And like I said, I talked to a coach about a month ago, I said, listen, somebody's getting restricted to the bench this year. It's gonna happen. The step, they cannot step back once they've separated their hands. I don't believe I've ever seen a pitcher who has done it, but the USA rule said you can step back before, during, or after you begin the pitch. So if most of our girls will do this anyways, step back right there, or step back right there. They cannot separate the hands and then step back and go like that. Okay, now that I did it, doesn't seem as crazy as I thought it was. If they separate the hands first and then step back, it is an illegal pitch.
Yeah. I
Yes,
think you might have skipped one before that.
no way. Okay, I did. Within the pitcher's plate. USA, the interpretation was that if they were stepping on the outside line of the pitcher's plate, they were not considered within. The entire foot had to be within the pitcher's plate. Now, we have it that if they are stepping on the line of the pitcher's plate, that is going to be absolutely okay. The windmill, they can't exceed 1.5 revolutions as opposed to 2. I think I said to me, there's only one young lady I have ever seen that would now be illegal. But if they end up going, if you have a pitch that starts like this, she goes around more than 1.5 times, that is now an illegal pitch. That will, by the way, be the the base umpire's call, because of the fact that they're gonna be able to see the 1.5 times. Batting infractions. Yes, Jason.
Sorry, can you just go back one real quick?
Yep.
I think that's. All right, never mind. I'll talk to you after.
Am I in trouble?
No.
Okay, okay, not yet. Okay, infractions. If the batter steps out of the box to hold their hand up, this one is a huge one. If the batter, we've all seen it where they go, you know what? They're trying to mess up the pitcher's timing or something like that. And right as the pitcher's getting ready to go, she steps out. If the pitcher releases the ball, by rule, it is a strike. I don't care where it is. Okay, it is a strike on the batter. USA, let's call it where it crosses the plate. Federation is, you have a strike, Brendan. Okay,
The batter's out of the batter's box. Get on that shirt.
if she calls time and steps out, the pitcher releases the ball, it is a strike. I'll tell you right now, because I gotta do it, like I said, I've gotta do this next week. I guarantee at least 90% of the coaches in the room are gonna be going back and telling their pitcher, batter does that, you better throw the ball. Okay, so it is a strike, no matter what, and it doesn't even, it has nothing else, just, it's a strike. So, she throws it over the backstop, it's a strike, and a one base award. Sound,
That's after the 10 seconds.
that is, if she's doing it, the pitcher has already begun her windup. Is a strike. We've all had it where the pitcher stops, and then we go no pitch,
Or hit by.
that's still gonna be the case. But if she didn't stop and she threw the pitch, we always said you call it based on the result of the pitch. Now I'm telling you, strike. Okay,
Dan,
yes,
In the rare instance that this would happen. What you mentioned takes place, you know, sometimes the pitcher is delivering the ball and it falls out,
Mhm.
still a strike but a live ball.
That's what the book says, strike, yeah. I know, I say, same thing there, if it, cause I look this one, if it hits the bat, it's a strike. It's a dead ball, and it's a strike, but it's a strike. Yeah, I mean.
Dan,
What?
okay, somebody.
No, you just answered it,
Thank you.
if I catch.
There you go. Batter getting ready for the pitch, so this is another one, if she has 10 seconds to be in the batter. Another thing we were told was, she gets in the batter's box, she just calls time, and you don't see a reason for her calling time, no, we're going. Okay, don't just give her time because she's calling it. Again, that was stressed with us, if you call it, it happened. But if she just goes time and there's no reason for it, keep her moving. Okay, hit by,
Let's just go over that.
Sure.
Let's just say the, I don't know, she had a pickoff play. There's a
Sure.
girl at first base, catcher, picks off the girl at first base, okay?
Yep.
She's safe, safe.
Yeah.
Goes back to the pitcher. At
Yep.
that time, that bat is in 10
10
seconds.
seconds, get in there, correct. Now, if we have a foul ball or something like that, that's a little bit different, but. You know, once we're ready, they have 10 seconds, there's no longer, USA had they can take 1 foot out of the batter's box, so they would have to turn and open up. Now it's just, you can go run down there if you want, but you better be back here in 10 seconds.
Oh, is that a strike?
What's that?
That's a strike?
It is a strike if they're not there, yes. Hit by pitch, if we have a ball that is that when it's pitched is entirely within the batter's box. They do not have to make an attempt to move out of the way of the pitch. The big one that I look at here is that changeup where the batter just holds and goes, hey, I'm gonna take this, 25-mile-an-hour changeup to the back of my tricep and I'll take first. In the past, that would have been dead ball, batter stay here. Now the situation is dead ball, take first base. So with that all being said, if she moves into it, it is still a dead ball and the batter gets first base. But if she holds her ground and the entire ball is in the batter's box, dead ball. I'm sorry,
No, you
dead
said-
ball, first base, excuse me, it was a dead ball, now we're at first base on.
So whether she doesn't move or she moves into it, inside the batter's box.
Dead ball, correct. I'm saying if she moves into it, dead ball, stay here.
Now she says.
Yeah, that's why you just said, okay, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Jesus.
Well, straighten that up, because I'm confused.
So if she moves into it, it's a dead ball, you stay here,
If she checking.
correct, the ball.
Yes.
She moves into it, she gets hit, dead ball, stay here, ball in the net. If it goes entirely into the box and it hits her, and she never moved, take first base. 3-foot lane interference, they used to have it based on the status of the ball at the time of the interference. Now it is based on the last foot that hits the ground as the runner, when the interference actually occurs. So, for 3-foot lane interference, we'll take this one, we're gonna take it as a little bunt right there. They throw it. And they hit the batter in the rear end. It goes off to the side. Now it is entirely based on, where was the last foot they're touching on? I think this actually makes it easier for us. I didn't think it was a particularly hard call, but this makes it easier. Now, if we have a situation, and this one's been on the test before, so I'll make sure I go over it. Ball gets hit to the first baseman, the runner is running out of the baseline to interfere with that throw home. Like this. That is going to be interference, but it is not 3-foot lane interference. Please remember that in order for it to be 3-foot lane interference, it's got to be on a throw from the home plate area, interfering with the fielder's ability to make the catch at first.
Yeah.
Yes,
836 in the rule book states, a runner shall not run bases in reverse order, either to confuse infielders or make a travesty of the game.
correct. That was the same in USA.
Is that the same as what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about.
No, I'm saying 836, what you quote, what is quoted is different in the book.
Let's check that one out.
Has anybody else seen that, or am I wrong?
No, I see it.
I'll check it out. If I might have the wrong rule reference.
Okay, well, you wouldn't be the only one.
There we go. If the right rule, I'll check on the rule reference. Interference on a foul fly ball. Now, in USA, it was if there was a foul fly ball and then the runner interfered, both the runner and the batter were out. Now the situation will be that the batter will be out, the runner will be out, but the batter will go with a foul ball on the batter. Yes.
Then we have that basically with the runner on the base.
Mhm.
Cause of that. When we have coaches, they're here with, let's say, I'll give you two scenarios. Okay, we got coach.
Coach, it would only be the batter. You couldn't have a runner being put out there.
Let's say you have, no one on base.
Mhm.
Obviously, the batter would be out.
Mhm.
I've got a runner on first and the coach. They're
Still just the batter,
It's just the
because
batter.
the runner didn't interfere. Batter's out, everybody's go back.
All right. Okay, so it's just batter out.
Correct.
Runner would go back to the base. And that's it. Okay.
Larry?
Okay, I'm having a problem with this one. Based on the slide that we had in the.
I made a mistake on that one.
There you go.
What you say?
Keep your receipts
Well,
on, Dan.
I'll be talking at the end of the meeting about. it.
Take over your presentation.
Okay, so right here. That would be interference, the runner is out, the batter goes back with a strike. Yes,
What if the interference by the batter runner, we get the home or?
if the interference is fine, no, then it's just the batter, and it's just the batter runner. It's the interferer is always out. Okay, if it's a foul ball, it's the interferer, if it's not the batter, it's going to be that a strike on the batter. Okay. Okay, interference on a foul fly ball. Yes. Correct. It doesn't matter. It's a dead ball, so just like as soon as we have interference, what do we have? Dead ball. So now we have a dead ball. Nothing happened after that interference. Okay, look back rule situations. We know that we need to have control of the ball within the circle. They have in there a term called wedging, which means if they put the ball under their chin, if they take the glove, pitcher takes the glove off, she's got it here. She puts it between her legs, she goes to fix her hair, something like that. That is considered control of the ball. In the past, with USA, a runner could take off on it. Now, they take off, you are out. Okay, pinch hitter and runner, they make mention to it in the book. It is a substitute. Ignore it, just think substitute when you see pinch hitter or runner. Yeah, just put pinch hitter, pinch runner equals sub. Okay, for obstruction, they now have verbal obstruction. Okay, they never had it before. Dave gave me the situations in the case book. I'll be honest. If it happens, please let me know about it, because I'd love to get the video of it.
If there's video.
The case book play, it must have happened because it's there, but the fact is, I don't see it happening ever again. Glenn,
Okay, so this is what I thought. Just saying,
oh God,
no, I'm saying, shortstop, right?
yep,
Is, he catch the ball,
yep,
right? And he throw it up in the air,
okay,
right? Say, I got it. But he already caught the ball, right? And got one runner out, and then he just happened to throw the
okay.
ball up.
How is he impeding or hindering a runner
Because-
running the base?
The first base runner did not see him throw the ball up.
But again, it's gotta be impeding or hindering. So he's not stopping the runners from moving, right?
But once he said, I got it.
So what are you saying the runners are gonna do?
He faked like he
Yep,
was.
I get what you're saying, but the runners are then gonna take off, right? So he's not hindering a runner is my point. He's tricking a runner. But he's not impeding or hindering to get him strong.
So if he yells like there's a train coming, just get him off the base,
If if they do that,
yelling something stupid, whatever, train's coming, get off the base, and the guy's yelling.
you're off the track.
Yeah.
I'm gonna toss them for being a jerk.
Okay, I mean, that's the only.
That, yeah, like I'm,
You're saying it's a trick, it's not obstruction.
yeah.
So it's a verbal trick, not a verbal obstruction.
That was your one. But it was a good one right there. If the runner-
Okay.
if the runner-
Communication devices, here we go. We allow for one-way communication devices. This is only with the catcher. I will tell everyone right now, I've already had several coaches reach out about this rule. So you will see it. They can use a two-way communication as a one-way communication device. That is fine, but once it becomes two-way, then it is an ejection of the player. I will tell all of you now too, I will be telling the coaches. I would suggest do not have communication devices out there with any of your other fielders. Because if they're looking at their Apple Watches, they're looking at their Fitbits during the middle of the game, you suspect that it may be used for communication. They are restricted to the bench. So that is going to be what if I will tell all of you now, if I see the catcher and the first baseman, second baseman all go at the same time, players are done. Okay, Bill,
No questions about that. The only
good, move on.
The
No,
only question I have is if a coach says, call timeout on the watch and have a conference, does that count?
we're going to have a conference.
As an offensive conference?
It's going to be a conference, yes. As soon as I see coach catcher go out there and talk to her, that is a conference anyway. He's using the catcher to hold up the game to deliver a message. That should be a conference no matter what. Okay,
But now with the watch.
he wants to use his conference. and send
Anytime the
catcher.
catcher decides she wants to have a.
She goes out there and I see her go to her watch, coach, it's the conference. Okay,
So I mean, I was just looking at the time.
great, shouldn't have it out there then.
So we're gonna be.
It is,
We're gonna be jerks.
again, like I said, they said, we were told multiple times. They want the rules for a reason. We are to enforce the rules. Okay, like I said, would it have been, is it what no, but these are the rules, okay? And here's the other part I'll say, because I get what you're saying, but just like you're gonna have that coach that you're going, oh, I don't wanna deal with him, letting him know that his player. You're gonna have the other coaches in a big game going, hey, do you see that the first baseman's out there and she's getting signals too? That's, I want to at least be I'd rather be on the mountain of right looking to the valley of wrong on what the rules are, as opposed to,
There's no warning on that one.
there is
either.
no warning. That's why I am telling coaches next week, if I were you, I would not have my infielders go out with anything that can be considered a communication. Larry, I'll get you right on the occasion, I'm
I
sorry.
know I'm not a fan of preventative officiating, however, jewelry is acceptable on a diamond.
Yeah,
would you not stop it, prevent it? If you see another player out there with a big, big garage, tell them to take it. Just because, what if that knucklehead shortstop says, yeah, it's hot today, I wonder what the temperature is. At the same time, the catcher's checking,
I'm telling you now,
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Sorry.
that's, I'm telling all of them next week, don't have them go out. That is going to be, do not put yourself in that spot, don't put us in that spot. Because I get what you're saying, she's looking, because Larry, you're looking for, you've got the girl that's looking for the weather tomorrow. Then you know what, when it happens with a player that's actually doing it. You know, she wasn't looking at the weather, okay, so I get it, didn't put it there. Okay, so I'm telling all, I am. Man of my word here, I will tell all of them, I would not send anything out there that could be construed as communication.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Yes, Steve.
All right, kind of vague in the rule book, actually. The penalty, it says penalty, umpire shall eject the offender from the game unless the offense is judged to be a minor offense.
I get,
If a minor,
Yes.
the umpire may warn the offender and. Well, it's a minor.
minor, that's it, minor offense. We were told if they're communicating, it's restricted.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's no minor in our book.
The minor offense is, that's just we were told, we weren't, because that's what was being brought up as well, what is considered a minor offense?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yes,
after the pitch, coach says, to the catcher, where was that? If the catcher answers it anyway, she's gone.
she can talk, she can use the device. The coach can talk to her through the device. She cannot relay anything back
That's what I
through the
mean,
device.
so if she answers.
She goes,
"Oh, outside,"
little outside, we got a
she's
problem.
gone, okay.
If she goes little outside, she's fine. Okay, so because he's communicating one way, she's communicating, but not through the device.
Right.
I'm not going over that now, still getting clarification on that. Any questions on anything else there?
Somebody brought up about face shields on defensive helmets.
Yeah,
They're wearing them, so if they can wear them, gotta be 10.
correct. Yep. Waivers, these are the rules that they are changing, whether they're to the USA rules or to the, or for a different rule. So, if I've got it for USA, it's the USA rule. If I've got it with the NYS BHSAA, they have their own thing. Correcting a name or number. Federation does a warning and then restricting the bench. They're just saying correct the name or number. Unlisted subs. Unlisted subs. Unlisted subs. There we go. If a player is added as a substitute after the start of the game, a warning is given and any further players added will result in the coach being restricted to the bench. We're allowing that. They can add them on as a sub. Okay. Dennis, that is an unlisted sub. Okay, EPs. Oh, jeez. Yes,
Is that slide here on Monday?
yes.
Yeah.
Was that slide here on Monday? Larry, was it here on Monday? And I'll tell you right now, he would have loved to call me out of that, so there it is. The barnacle. Okay, extra players.
So they had two subs. One sub.
No, they are using the USA rule, they can add subs on as they go, okay? Extra player, they're using the USA extra player rules. I'm doing my best to get everything together, guys, but they're using the USA rules. We have on our video, we have on our website, videos on the DP Flex, the EPs, and using the EPs with the DP Flex. That'll clear up everything for you if you need it, but we are using the USA EP rule. Playing shorthanded. Each of the two teams needs to have 9 players in federation. we are gonna still use the USA rule of 8. Okay, do not allow them to start with less than 8. Team shows up, and we had this happen last year, not show up, and they say, we have 6, but we'll borrow 2 from the other team. That's great, I won't be umpiring that game. Okay, we don't share players. The first question I got when I called that one in, because I told the school, you know what, I'll check on that, but the umpires did leave properly. They said, well, what about for future years? Could that maybe be something? And what I was told is, where the first question we'll get is, were they on the roster when they left school that day? Answer is no. Okay, so do not allow that to happen. So they can start with 8. They cannot start with they cannot start with less than 8.
You start eating that spot out.
Next spot's an out, still is only 8, yep. And no sharing of players too, like, I wanna make sure that's, I don't care if they have 8, 7, 6, or 1, no sharing of players. If they wanna do that, they are able to. If they wanna do that, they can have a phys ed teacher go out and call balls and strikes. Larry.
What's wrong with that teacher?
Nothing.
Oh, boy.
Listen, I say all the time, you don't have to be smart to be a phys ed teacher.
Oh.
But, hold on, are you ready? If you're a phys ed teacher, you're smart. I was always jealous of the phys ed teacher. You don't have to be, but you are. Yes.
Well, he got himself out of that one, didn't he?
Was that a shot? Was that a shot, Emily? He didn't listen. He didn't listen. I'm sorry. You're dumb. Okay. What, Larry?
Team starts with 9.
Yep,
They get down to 8, yeah, ejection or.
they still the same rules apply. Same rules apply, game's over.
Okay,
Yep.
even if it's restricted.
Yep. Tiebreaker rule. They are sticking with, I'm gonna keep it nice and simple. We're sticking with the top of the 10 for the tiebreaker. So we are using the USA rule of the international tiebreaker. We are using the New York State rule of starting the 10. In Federation, the rule, if you look in the book, it says, hey, it's a tie. Well, that was a fun game. It's a tie. Procedure, like I said, we're recording as a tie in Federation. Don't look at that. It is that we're gonna start at the 10th inning. American with Disabilities Act, again, I plan to get this on the site when I get an opportunity. There is no American with Disabilities Act in the Federation rules. They are using the USA. Double first base. Double first base is not required in Federation, but it can be based on state adoption. We are requiring a double first base. Now to go over this, because I had some questions on them. They can be used by the fielder on all plays that they will be used by the fielder on all plays, unless the batter runner, unless the play takes the fielder into foul territory or the throw ends up coming from the foul side of the first baseline. The white portion of first base may be used by the batter if the fielder is using the colored portion, or if there's an opportunity for a multi-base hit. Again, I'm gonna tell you all I'm saying this, so please don't make me look foolish when I say we're enforcing this. I will be telling them next week. We are seeing a lot more of white and off-white bases, okay? Dirty white is not a color. They need to be 2 different colors. So some of these schools better invest in a can of spray paint, okay? The good news, I'll let them know they can use whatever color they want, so make it look like their school color. The bad news is, some of them need to paint them. So, if we have a situation like this, they can appeal this base. First base, this has to be a live ball appeal, and it has to be a tag. So she's there, umpire calls. Runner. Save. Oh, Jesus, Christmas. Umpire calls the runner out. He had a preemptive appeal. Yeah, he knew it was coming.
Glenn was a.
So,
I might have did that, right?
So,
The question is, the question is,
Danny.
what do you look at first? The ball going into the glove or when it gets?
I'm gonna answer that question. Watch the feet, listen for the ball going to the glove. Get far enough away that you can see both, but you are listening for the glove and watching the feet. Okay? You got, because you'll always get that from the glove. You won't always get a sound from the base. Okay, so that could be appealable. The umpire decided to make their own appeal right. Colored portion of first base must be used by the batter runner unless a fielder is using the double first base. Or if there's a possible multi-base hit. It can be used by the fielder if the throw is coming from the foul side of first, or the play takes the fielder into foul territory. Now, here, if we have the ball originally being thrown to the foul side of the first baseline, the first baseman or the runner, the fielder covering first can set up on the orange base. But it is the first baseline straight back to the backstop. If they are on the other side of that, they are not allowed to set up on the orange portion. So just because it's foul, the ball is foul when it's picked up, it's being thrown from foul territory, does not mean they can set up on orange. Okay? Set that. Okay. Again, we have 3-foot lane interference, it goes away. And will you have the video right here? Boom. Drop third strike. The kicker here is that we need to have the ball, the batter runner actually interfering with the fielder's ability to make the catch. So if they're not interfering with the ability to make the catch, we don't have anything. She makes that adjustment right there. Also remember, the ball needs to be thrown. She keeps pump faking. We don't have 3-foot lane interference. She needs to throw the ball. Same thing here. If we watch this play, is she in fair territory? You bet your bibby. Did she interfere with the throw? No. The answer is no. That runner did not affect the fielder's ability to make the catch. The catcher, the pitcher, or the catcher, whoever it was, their bad throw affected the first baseman's ability to make, or whoever it was, to make that catch. They sail it off into right field, it's not 3-foot lane interference.
We've been through this, all she's gonna do is throw it in her back.
That would be a smart thing to do.
Okay.
Okay? Yep, I would agree. Yes, yes, I assume when you said, hey, Dan, yes.
On a play, let's say the third baseman, gets the ball and throws across the down to the first, and it's an errant throw.
Gotta be coming from the home plate area.
But what I'm saying, it's an errant throw at first base where first baseman basically both.
Correct.
Like, is there a possibility of obstruction?
Yes.
We could have obstruction in that case because she's not fielding a batted ball and she does not have control of the ball. Correct. So if she comes up and she runs in and she runs into that runner there, yeah, we can have obstruction. She impeded or hindered.
Yeah, but if she's going for that ball, there's a collision, we got nothing, right?
If everything arrives at the same time, it's a crash. But if what Dave was saying, correct me if I'm wrong, she goes to stretch for it, she doesn't have, the runner would have easily been in there, we have obstruction, give her first base. Batter needs to use the colored portion, we started to talk about this now, when I say the play takes her, she goes up to get a thrown ball that was poorly thrown, yeah, she can use the orange base. Same thing, if she has that ground ball, it hits her, it bounces over into foul territory, she can go over, she can touch the orange base. Pretty much, we don't force the first baseman to cross the line, the path of the runner. Okay, I had a good analogy, John killed me last. Okay, once she's achieved first base, so when she runs through, we gotta use the orange and white base. When she comes back, it all turns to one big white base that's 15 by 30. Like that. Again. Boom. Okay, intentional walks, if you look in the book, it says that they can choose, they can just say, hey, Blue, we want to intentionally walk the batter. They need to throw all 4 pitches, that is a waiver. Reported pitcher and catcher, this one is important. This one is huge, actually, when I got to rule interpretation the other day. Defensive changes involving the pitcher and the catcher must be reported to the plate umpire. We need to record those. If they don't, it is considered an unreported substitute. Okay? It's going to be considered an unreported substitute. That's really important because they could have an unreported substitute that goes in the 3rd. Then they could have an unreported substitute that ends up being an unreported catcher. And now the catcher is restricted to the bench for the rest of the game. Susie, you get to catch this inning. Oop, no, take the equipment off. We're bringing somebody in. Bill.
Now. Change of the inning. New pitcher goes out, you notice this. They don't come out and tell you, don't say anything. They have to throw a pitch, correct?
It's gotta be a live
As soon
ball.
as the pitch is thrown, that's when
It could be
everything
an
happens.
unreported substitute at that point.
And we're waiting for the other coach to bring that to our attention.
You are, yeah, wait on that with the other coach, okay? Now, you know it, you can technically make that call. I'd wait. Okay, Larry,
That's not what you stated here.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. If you know it, it is an unreported substitute, I apologize. If you know it's an unreported sub, I'm sorry, that's on that.
So we don't have to wait for the
No, if
opposing
it's a
coach.
catcher.
We go right at
Or
it.
the pitcher.
Oh,
That's on
pitcher,
that.
catcher only.
Pitcher, catcher at the 2.
Okay.
We can't say, coach, you wanna tell me something?
John,
You can't go do it there.
Larry, I just want to say you cannot use one word.
okay, so face masks, if you look in the rule book, they're not required for 2025, but it says, but they'll be required for 2026. We are requiring them for 2025 as well in New York, because that would be a silly thing to do to say, take them off for this year. Last things, they've emphasized the pace of play between innings. We are doing 1 minute between innings. I will tell everybody now, so I'm absolutely upfront. I keep a timer on the back of my belt. That timer has 45 seconds and then 15 seconds. 45, they're throwing it down. At 15, we're going. Teams were getting much better as the year went on because we were enforcing it, okay? After about the halfway point, teams got really good, and then we had some issues when we had some teams coming in for, section.
And Dan, you're gonna enforce it at these coaches meeting, right?
I let them know, I was already told, expect to be questioned on this at the coaches meeting, it's already in my plans.
Is that a penalty timer?
Yeah, no pitches. They lose their pitches. Like I said, that's why I go with the timer's got 45 at bat, because at 45, we're throwing it down. If I'm standing there and it vibrates for me, if I feel the first one, I'm going, catcher, send it down. She's still not out there, and I get the second one, then the ball's in, let's go. We're moving, okay? The one thing I'll tell you right now, when I've had coaches question me, I said, listen, do me a favor, tell me one other sport where we do warm-ups in the middle of the game. If a quarterback gets hurt, they don't go, okay, come on out, we're gonna have the receiver run streaks down the field so you can launch. Okay, it's just, let's go. So with that being said, I will also tell you, if coach, I know I'm gonna be questioned on it, I was already warned on it. I will tell them, if that is a concern, if you don't have a lot of players to warm up your pitcher, when you hit 2 outs, have her go in the bullpen. That is your prerogative, okay? You have these options, do those things, but we spent freaking 15 minutes talking about it. Plate umpire, you need to take lineup cards, you need to record everything, including when those infractions occur. And finally, if they have a wristband if you have a wristband, they can't do, some of the players will do it on the belt type deal. They need to wear it on their arm. And if it's the pitcher, it needs to be the non-pitching arm. Okay?
You know, the reasoning behind that for the
For what?
for the regular defensive player, why did they care?
They just said it's no, it's because it's improper, it's improperly wearing. That's it. I mean, in all honesty, it doesn't bother me, but bothered that, so.
Not wearing in the.
Okay, going over some things, a lot of these were either questions that I got from people, or they were things that we had issues with. That we were sending out during the memos of the year. Pre-game with partner, everybody needs, and it should be initiated by the plate umpire. Contact your partner the night before the game. Okay, let them know, this is where we are, this is the time. I actually had one last year where I contacted my partner and they didn't realize that it was a 7 o'clock game. And they thought it was 5 o'clock. We would have had one hell of a pregame, guys, okay? Make sure you contact them, go over, we have this game tomorrow. The location, where it is, and also where we're meeting. A lot of us are working fields that we've never been to before. Let your partner know, hey, you know what, I've been to this field before, this is a really good place to park. The uniform that you're wearing, there are options in the Constitution for different shirt colors. Be aware that if you do those different shirt colors, if you do, you either have to have gray or black. It is dependent on the piping on the end of the shirt. Same thing is for the hat. The piping is black, the hat must be black. The default uniform that everybody needs to have, navy blue, powder blue shirt with navy blue piping on. Navy blue undershirt if you choose to wear an undershirt. Heather gray pants, no charcoal gray pants. And finally, a black belt and black shoes, okay? No charcoal, and then make sure you are dressed appropriately if you wear a different color shirt. Make sure you're there 30 minutes beforehand. Have that good pregame. So plate umpires should be running the pregame, okay? With that being said, especially if you're working with a new official, I told them, I said, listen, most of the people in our organization are very nice people. And what I'm gonna tell all of you is if you're working with somebody who's a little newer, say, I want you to start the pregame, I'll continue it on for you. Give them that experience of doing it, but don't say, nope, this is your job and we're not talking. Talk about difficult situations, how we're gonna handle them. We're gonna talk about communication in a second. The big one here, don't pregame any deviations. Deviations should only happen because something weird happened. Okay, your partner fell. The ball was hit into a weird spot. I'll give a good example of a deviation, and if you deviate, you need to communicate with each other. Good example of a deviation here. Working a game, we had runners on first and second. 1 out at the time. The ball was hit into foul territory back behind first base near the fence. So my partner goes over to take care of the catch, okay? The runner at second left early. All of a sudden you hear the team going, she left early at second, my partner looked at me with the, oh crap look, okay? He would have had the lead off at the tag up at second base because I had the trail runner. In this case, I got this because of he had to go over to the fence. He had to keep his eyes over there. I'm standing right there with the girl on second right in front. So that's a situation, deviate because of a weird situation, okay? Don't go through and say, we're gonna do this. Don't have this, okay?
Remember that.
We're gonna have some talking at that point. Some situations you might want to discuss. Make sure we're all on the same page with all of these things. Also, if you know part of your game needs work, tell your partner, hey, I'm really trying to focus on this. I had a few games last year, I went through a spell where I didn't feel comfortable at the bottom of my strike zone. Told my partners, do me a favor, watch that. Okay, I want to make sure I get tuned in. Initial positions. I'm mostly focusing on this for the people who are standing really deep in those initial positions. Okay. Remember, at first base, we want to be 18 to 21 feet back from first base. You can either stay in a walking stance and walk the line, or you can drop down into a set position. But don't go past 18 to 21. you're going more than 6 or 7 steps, you're too far. When we walk the line, start yourself back a little bit further, right at that 21. When the pitcher starts her motion, walk, and I'm gonna tell everybody, start with the right foot first. Reason being is when I start, I go here, I put myself in an athletic stance, and I can push off from here in order to make my call. If I start with the left foot, go to the right, now all of my momentum is on the foot and I gotta shift it back over to push off that left foot. Okay? So when we walk the line, don't do that point. I don't know what the hell that happens. Okay? And then just take your steps in. That's an option for you. Didn't like the same line. Drop set position. As the pitcher starts her windup, just drop into a set position. Okay? B position. This was the B and C were the biggies where we were talking about people being really deep. You only want to be about a step and a reach behind the fielder. This is going to allow you to see everything. It's going to allow you to be there to make those calls.
I'm pretty good at that position right there.
And
I
you're
think I'm
humble.
great. I think I'm great at that position.
And Jesus, it's Christmas. Okay. Also, with that, what I want to show you guys, Dennis, you come up here for me, really. So, first off, do this for, go up here. I only want to be 5-6 feet back, okay? I set a step of reach, also 2 steps is about fine, okay? Do not, somebody ask, well, can I just touch her and then step in? Because of comments like that, we have to be fingerprinted, okay? The other part that I want to show you guys is, come back here and be my umpire. We see a lot of people who are getting too deep because the fielders are moving up at the time of pitch. I call them freakers, okay? Because we get those girls, we set up beautifully, we got those 2 steps, and then we got the fielders that start doing this. Now he's really deep from where I want him to be. What I'm gonna tell you in that case is, as the umpire, if you know somebody's doing that, take a couple steps up, be standing next to them. Do I want to be here when the pitch is actually thrown? No, but I know she's gonna take those couple steps up for me. So now I'm at a beautiful depth. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Don't get where you're going, man, I'm 4 or 5 steps behind. You're back there. The other part, and I won't go back on this one. If I have a situation
Language.
okay, if I'm in the B position, I'm gonna tell everybody, ideally, we wanna take that third baseline, draw a perpendicular line through the pitcher's plate. Ideally in B, you wanna be set up just to the left of that perpendicular line. Same thing in C. What we're gonna do there is we are gonna take that perpendicular line through the pitching plate. We're judging based on where that lead runner is. The lead runner is on second, be to the left of that line. The lead runner's on third, then be to the right of that line. It will go over when they make adjustments in a second, but these are our ideal positions. We had some people last year who, when they were in B with a runner on first, they were starting out there. There was one person I talked to said, I'm ready for the steal. That's great. However, if there's a pickoff, what kind of position are you in? Okay, we're assuming quite a bit. Okay, so don't assume. The thing is if I'm in B right here and there's a steal, I've given myself about a 25-foot head start. Okay, so don't go so far over to third base or second base or third. Same deal right here. Lead runner's on second. She's in a beautiful position right here. Make your adjustments. Don't get happy feet. Walk the runners. That's the end of the inning. So she did a beautiful job. Like I said, lead runner's on third. Looking past that right side. Why are you worried about that?
I mean,
Hey, you know?
it is not me.
What? Because he was out there for the clinic and he probably changed really quick. Okay. If the fielder doesn't play her usual position, we have fielders that we see that they back way out, especially on turf. Take an imaginary line from the fielder to each of the bases. With that being said, be about a step and a reach behind that line. You're here, you may be even with them on depth from the baseline. But the fact is there, if the ball's hit over there, the umpire could move towards third and not be in a problem at all. Okay? Don't get yourself too deep. Other questions that we had in other situations, we had from the A position on our hits to right field. There were a lot of questions last year. The big thing, I think the A position is the toughest position as the base umpire. I 100% because it's the most reading. So when it goes out there, we need to look, can it be caught by the fielder? Could a runner advance to second base? And is there a possibility for a play at first? With that being said, please remember, you are absolutely responsible. I don't care if you chase or not. That is your calling area on a hit to right field. Center fielder all the way over is the base umpire's call from the A position. Now, if we have a fly ball that we think could possibly be caught, this is one where we're going. That's going to be a tough catch. Get out there on that. So with that being said, when that ball's hit, and I'm talking fly balls, run parallel to the flight of the ball. If you do this, you're committed. You're out there. Okay? Plate umpire, interior of the field, take the runner all the way around. As the base
Not here.
umpire, do not come in. Okay? You're out there. You've committed. With that being said, I also want to say, and this is going to be part of your pregame, when you walk the field, look for it. Do we have any areas where the ball can get out? I don't care, A, B, or C. If the ball could get out and you're going, man, that ball could go through the hole or past the fence, chase on it. The most important thing on the field is the ball. Nothing happens without the ball. So we need to know, is that ball dead or alive before we make a call? Okay? So right here, just take a look at it as an example. The ball's hit. Base umpire parallel to the flight of the ball, and the plate umpire takes them all the way around. If we have a possible play at first, a lot of people know that I'll call this one the HUH. If I chase, I go. If I think there's a possibility for a play at first where I don't think there will be a play, or I don't think the right fielder has a shot at a catch, just take your position on the line, open up, turn your shoulders, and I will tell everybody right now, when I'm with somebody new, I give them a hand up here. That way they know I'm not committed out there. Okay, I've got all my responsibilities at first. Be ready for that, and I might take her second if I can. If we have that play at first as the base umpire, take 2 steps into foul territory so you can make, so once the ball is caught or it ends up being fair or foul, then when we realize there's a play, take 2 steps into foul territory. So right here we have that ball not caught, but the right fielder gets it. So it's in there. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the case where if that fielder if the fielder doesn't make it, it gets through, open up, cut behind the runner as she rounds first base, and you can take her all the way around. My call. Let her go. We got the HUH, and then it got through. They take off with the runner. If we have it where we have a possible call at first, just open up. He's able to come up with a catch, no catch if necessary, and he will be able to make that call at first. You have more time than you think at once. Don't get happy feet.
Are we still not calling can of corns?
You don't have to call can of corns.
Huh.
I don't. If grandma in the stands knows what happened, then we don't need to make the call.
Can you go back to the slide before this? I want to see what the plate umpire does.
Now, plate umpire, read that they cut in. As soon as they cut into the field, get back to home. Okay, they're taking them on all their duties there. Okay. Good. Okay, get to right field, no chase, and we have that play at first. This one, if you see that they open up, the plate umpire in all these needs to get up to an area between the pitcher and first base. You're there for support, you're there for the stretch, all that. Base umpire is still making the call, but the base umpire's on the outside of the field, so they're gonna take the runner. They're not gonna be able to take that runner to third home. Now, if we have the ball get away or something like that, we're in this position. Plate umpire is gonna take them to seconds. Once they hit second, the base umpire should be shadowing them across the field. Start coming home. The base umpire at this point is responsible for everything as far as dead and live goes. And we'll get home and we'll make that call at home. Ribbing, this is another one we had some issues. If we have the ball hitting the left field, we should be ribbing. Now, if the ball's hit, the base umpire takes it. You should only be walking a few steps off. If the ball's hit and the runner returns first base, walk her back to first base, just like this guy does. Ball's hit. He rounds first. He's ready to go. Nope, she's going back. Walk her back. Okay. Now, if we have it that she ends up going to second base, and you read that she's going to be going to second, take that runner into second base, but do it on the outside of the field, just like you would a steal. Reason for this, as opposed to button hooking, is when we do this, we keep everything in front of us. The ball, the fielders, and the runner are all in front of us the entire time. Turn your head, watch. So this guy right here comes up with their obstruction call. Takes it down, takes her to second base. That's beautiful right there. That's what I want. If we have it where they go to third base, this is where we are getting ourselves in some trouble. We have some people that they are getting way the heck out here, and then they're cutting in front of the runner. Because of that, because you got to take that weird turn, that's a good way to foul and get the runner to trip over you. So what I'm telling you to do instead is, when that runner, little different, staying on the outside. If they're on the outside as the plate umpire, you need to pick up third. Okay, that's another area. Don't as the base umpire go. If they see you're outside, commit to being outside. The plate umpire, I got three. If they start coming up, I got three. We don't need to have that situation that we saw in that other game where one's making one call, one's making another call. If we have it that the ball's hitting the left field, the runner goes to second, or they're outside, correct. Now, if they end up going to third base, this is where I'm talking about. Let them cross in front of you, and you're going to take them into third base. Okay? Just like this right here. So it's hit to left, like I said a second ago. Come in a couple steps, let that runner cross in front of you. Now, when they do that, cut behind them. As soon as you're the plate umpire here, you no longer have anything at third, and you're gonna back off. Okay. Fair foul from the A position. Base umpire is responsible for everything just in front of the base. Plate umpire is responsible for everything up to the front of the base. Base umpire has the front of the base back. So if we have a ball that is hit, it hits there and it bounds over the base. That is the base umpire's call. If we have it where it goes over, first hits there, base umpire's call. It is the status, if that ball crosses this line right here, that's going to be the base umpire's call on fair foul. Okay? Obvious fouls. If the ball keeps going back to the fence or it's hit to the fence at all, we don't, don't need that. Everybody knows it was a foul ball. When you hear it rattling around the fences, it's a foul ball, okay? Okay, here's the other ball, let's get, or let them throw it in. If it stays in, or if it leaves, you know, saw somebody last year, not here in our group, but the ball was hit out into dead ball territory. They came up with a beautiful foul ball. Okay, nobody cared, but it sounded great. Positioning on steel, so if we are calling from the B position, we want to be looking up the front line of the base. Ideally, I want to be looking right there as the base umpire. Okay, so I can see that you get a run parallel. We had a lot of people that are cutting in, they're starting here, and they're cutting in that way. Keep your distance. You start 8 feet back, keep that distance 8 feet back. Speaking of which, if you have a second baseman or shortstop who plays ahead of the line, like way up for a bunt or something like that, take that step and a reach back from the baseline, not much.
And if the second baseman's playing really deep, then you do have.
Then
to
you're
get-
gonna do that imaginary line from Herb between the bases.
Yeah.
And you wanna stay a step and a reach behind that line in the best spot, in your opinion.
And then when you take the call, you might have to come in to get to your 8.
You're gonna take the best angle you can, right? I missed that one, I'm gonna tell the second baseman, start somewhere again.
Right.
But right here, I say this all the time, guys. I don't expect quickness. All I ask for is hustle, okay? I know not everybody here is running a 4.40, okay? I don't expect anybody to, okay? I know nobody in here is running a 4.40, okay? But hustle, get as close as you can to that spot. If we have the steal attempt and the ball gets away or the runner happens to go to third, plate umpire, they're outside of the baseline or outside of the infield, get over there for third base. That's huge. We did have, even though I saw a couple times last year where even though the plate umpire was up at third, where the base umpire is trying to haul and going, I got it, I don't need super ump. Okay? You don't need to be super ump out there. You're putting yourself in a bad spot. Just do the right things. And then we're also building bad habits. But then the next time, if you can't get there, plate umpire is gonna be standing behind home because they're like, hey, he wants to show off his speed today. Please, please, please don't let me see this. I saw this more than once last year. If we have a steal and the ball gets away, as the base umpire, do not cross the middle of the field to make a call at third. The plate umpire will take the runner home. The base umpire, if we have a rundown, will get over to third. I had somebody say, well, I'm ready for you at home. And I go, that's great. I don't want you there. Okay. I want you to be back here. It was with me and we almost had a situation. I didn't know. I would have liked to have seen the picture on I would have liked to have seen a picture of my face when I went, how the hell did you get there? Okay. If we have rundowns, if it ends up happening between second and third, we've already got a beautiful bracket. Okay, plate umpire on the third base side looking one way. As the base umpire, the one thing I'm gonna tell you is move out to this side so that you got that bracket. Same thing here, if it ends up being between third and home, gets away there. Plate umpire has third base, now it gets away again. If that happens, plate umpire is going to come and take the runner home. Base umpire is going to fill up at third in order to be there for the bracket. Okay? You're the base umpire and you're running across and you're splitting the field in half, you're doing something wrong. Can't have any situation where you would do that. But I know I've got a couple people in the room right now trying to think how they can prove me wrong. Okay.
Would that be considered the 2-day play?
That is not, that's when you just flat out blow it, okay, and then equipment goes on eBay tomorrow. Okay. From C on a steal attempt, wait for the ball to take it to the play, but the same thing. You want to try to get to that front edge of the base if you can. Questions on any of that? Great. Plate umpire calling position, so we've got the wedge here. You've got 5 different positions. Remember, we're always trying to work back to the wedge. If we have a force, we want to move to what they call the mechanics manual B at the plates. We're gonna move 12 to 15 feet back so we can see the whole play, so that we can see the ball coming in and the fielder. So this young lady right here is gonna make a beautiful call at home. See that pulled foot right there? No obstruction. She makes a beautiful call on the off the base, and that was the run that put it into Mercy, so. It was a big run, but wasn't looking good for Arkansas anyways. Okay, move yourself back, take a couple steps back. We never want to be, two things I always say when I do the rookie classes. We never want to be on the move. Nobody tries to take a picture and runs to where they're going and takes pictures as they're running. You're gonna get a blurry picture. And the other part is, we never want to get too close to what we're taking a picture of. Okay, so make sure that you are giving yourself that distance. Start in the wedge or you can't adjust. This guy's in trouble right here, and we can all see right there. Oh. Go ahead, I did. It's okay, I'm just giving you some stuff. This one's taking a while. Move back to the point of the plate when you get the chance. Now this umpire's in a good spot to make a call.
Left hand.
Don't get caught up here. We can all see that this guy has no idea when the glove is actually applied on the tag. They can't see the glove between the runner and the umpire. C position. Now, this is gonna be for online throws. This is gonna be where I'm looking up the first baseline. It's going to be a race for that front corner. So right here, we move up the line, we move back, we're making that adjustment to the C position. We want to be 8 feet away so we can see the whole play. And like I said, it is a 100% a race for that front corner. So I'm talking about plays like this, where I can look up that front corner. That's a great example right there. When we're talking about offline throws, I'm talking about anything that is going to be away where the catcher's got to go this way or this way, and she's got to bring it back to the plate. It is not a case where she is getting the ball and it's right there where she's going right down the corner. She has to go away and move her glove away from the plate in order to bring it back to the plate. That's an offline throw. At that point, we want to move into this D position. So we're up the line, we move back to the A position, the wedge, and now we're gonna move into D. Third base extended, 8 feet back. From there, we can make adjustments. Okay? These plays right here are examples where they should be in that third to home extended, and they're not. All these plays, especially this one, you can see he wants to get to that angle right there. He knows he has a bad one. Okay, so with that being said, if you're in that third to home extended, you're gonna be able to see that. Looking at this one, so somebody questioned me on this one the other day. I want you to notice what I'm saying when I'm talking about her bringing the ball back to home plate. Ball's hit. They throw it home. See what I'm talking about, where she went to get it and then is bringing it back to home plate? That's where I'm saying it's an offline throw. This guy missed this call. This is a state championship right here as well. Watch, she goes that way, out away, and brings it back. Calls are safe. Yeah, that was the difference between going into extra innings and getting the and game being over. Don't get too close to play. I just said you want to be 8 feet away. You get too close.
Oh, boy.
By the way, this is how this game ended. Yeah, she's pointing. She knows what's up. He gets up and this is one of two calls right here. This is either eBay, put your stuff up on eBay tomorrow, or this is an oh shit. Okay.
It's probably both.
Extra base hit from the B position. This is another one that I saw a lot last year that we weren't doing what we were supposed to. I know I sent a video out on this one too. If we have it where they have an extra base hit. Again, as the base umpire, don't be super umpire cutting for that runner to get to third. We still have this one at first. So what you want to do there, when that ball gets away and that runner takes off for third, or in general, plate umpire, get up to third. Base umpire is going to stay back. Plate umpire now is going to be able to make this call at third. The base umpire is going to let that runner go to third. He's going to watch this runner touch second and is cutting behind that runner to take her to third. Okay? Which I think I have right here. So plate umpire gets up there. Ball comes in. My plate umpire is able to make that call and adjust. Like I said just a second ago, as the base umpire, let that runner cross, come in behind them for that call at third. Okay? If you cut in on that first runner, we have another runner behind us that we put ourselves in a bad spot. Working between pitches. Walk the runner back on every pitch and on every pitch. Just take a couple steps with them. Stay interested, get the blood back in your legs, all that jazz. Who's an angry man? Okay, take a few steps. After all plays on, this is a pet peeve of mine, but when the play ends, make eye contact with each other. Plate umpire, make eye contact with the base umpire. Base umpire, at that point, start walking back to take a jog back to your spot. I'm not saying sprint. That looks foolish. We don't need to do that. Take a little jog, walk with purpose, move with purpose. Plate umpire at that point, keep eyes on the field, but you can start walking back a little ways. Okay? As the base umpire here, when you turn around, make eye contact again, plate umpire now can put their head down and get back. We have too many times that I saw where both umpires are putting their heads down and going to their spot. If something happens, we have nobody that can say, I saw that. The other one, and this is a little bit of a pet peeve. We have too many people using their indicators as a GPS, where they've got, the count on there and they go, like Siri's gonna tell you where to go. Okay? Get back to your spot, take a look, put it back at your side and just fix it. They know what it is. Okay? Skip over that. Okay, umpire to umpire signals. Always initiated by the plate umpire. Get your mask on, start getting behind home plate, and as you do it, just give a little infield fly, or we have a timing play. It doesn't need to be a big thing, and you don't need to all stand out around for everybody to see it. Base umpire, repeat it after the plate umpire did it. Please, 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 I'm gonna tell you, if you do this, you look really foolish. Too many base umpires, they hustle back to your spot. And as the plate umpire is hustling their spot, I see. Wait for it, okay? The plate umpire will signal to you. If they don't, you're already aware of it. And just give them a little, hey, just remember. Okay, but we don't need to make a spectacle of ourselves out on the diamond, letting our plate umpire know that. For timing plays. Anytime we have 2 outs, give a timing play signal. We have a drop third strike. If you see it as the base umpire, it's dropped, point down. If you don't feel as though it's dropped, 90-degree angle at the arm and give a fist. If the plate umpire makes their own call, put it away. It's not your call. You're there for help. If you said, hey, I've got a catch, but your plate umpire, you say it's down on the ground, but your plate umpire says I have a catch, we don't need to go across field and go, no, I had it dropped, okay? That's really embarrassing for both umpires right there when they've got to deal with that situation. Okay. Other one is infield fly. Same thing, talk about this at pregame. Use the hand to the chest. I worked with one guy last year, he did the shark thing, that, I asked him, what the hell is that? Just go to the chest, make sure we're going over our communication. Those of you who do a baseball. I like the chest, because this is nice and easy, and it doesn't look crazy. I worked with him, it's like, what the hell is that?
Infested waters.
That's right, I'm not going back there. We don't play. This is another one, if we have, especially with a runner on third and a walk, or a runner on first and third. Base umpire, come into the field. Now, when that happens, we're splitting the field. Reason being is the big thing we're looking for is look back rules in the plays. Thing that this allows is the base umpire and the plate umpire can both see the pitcher and the runner, okay? Split it. As that runner moves, if the base umpire, walk back and give her room so the pitcher can make a play. Seeing more pitchers that wait till they get 10 feet away and they are then throwing. Plate umpire, right as that ball 4 happens, get down to third base. Now, if there's an immediate throw, as the base umpire, you're making that call at third base. But plate umpire, get over there for a call. Larry.
Just reminder, 99% of these field plays or ball 4 with runner on third. It can happen on a drop third or a soft front in front of the plate where the catcher eats the ball. Doesn't always have to be a walk. So the same thing would be applied there. She might eat that ball because she don't want to throw. It could be behind or go ahead and run at third. They don't want to give it up. So it can happen on the ball 4, drop third, or a soft hit in front of it.
It can happen.
It can happen.
That's why we're going over it. Yes, Derek.
Trying to remember back to the breakfast thing, but did you mention something about the look back rule is not CR until the run across?
That's still the same case. Still the same as USA.
On the
If
circle.
we have that runner starting on first, like I said, same deal. Plate umpire get up there and the base umpire still get on the inside and allow them to make a play. Back off. Like I said, we're splitting the field. Base umpire's got first and second, plate has third and home. Okay, we're gonna go over pitching infractions. This was one I got a lot of emails from coaches on consistency throughout the year. Preliminaries, they need to start with, on the delivery of the pitch, pitcher needs to take a position with a pivot foot in contact, the non-pivot foot in contact or behind. Both feet need to be on the ground within or partially within the 24-inch length of the pitcher's plate. All that other stuff. The ball in glove or hand, there is no such thing as present the ball, okay? This is getting better every year I do it, but I tell coaches, now, guys, that rule was, the whole present the ball thing rule, the whole present the ball rule situation was changed before I was born, okay? It's been a while now. Back when I was 18, it wasn't that great, now it's impressive. Okay, already said that. So I'm gonna skip through a few of these guys, and I want to get to this one. Just. What?
The nip of the tree.
What are we talking about? If we have this is now legal as opposed to in years past. Okay. Moving ahead, we know all these other ones. Now, this is the other, couple of the other biggies. They need to step on with their hands not together. It doesn't matter which hand the ball's in, but the hands cannot be together. The signal. The Federation rulebook actually says that they need to take the signal from the catcher. I want to say this to everybody. I know what everybody's saying when they say the pitcher's got to take a pause. Please do not use that verbiage with coaches. Say, if the pitcher has to take or appear to take the signal from the pitching plate with her hand severed. Okay, try to get that. Now, if you want to say she essentially has to pause to make it look like she took it, that's fine. But if she just goes right to it, we got a problem. And again, Federation, especially because of the communication piece now, They put in there that needs to look like she's taking it from the catcher. She can't step on, look over at her coach and go, okay, she's gotta make it look like she's taking the signal from the catcher. With the non-pivot foot in contact or behind the pitching plate. Hands separate, already said this. This girl we know, she's illegal. She's illegal as all get out. Steps on, goes right into it. Nobody will question that. The one that we still have to get better on is girls like this. They step on, they bring those hands right together. That is an illegal pitch. She needs to make it look at, she needs to take or appear to take the signal from the pitching plate with her hands separate. She brings those things right together, then we are gonna nail her with an illegal pitch. There is no warning, okay? With that being said, we enforce the rules. If anybody can show me where we have warnings in the rule book, great, and I'll tell everybody I was wrong. It has happened. It happened tonight. But I said many times, because coaches will say, you know what, I'd like my pitcher to get a warning. I said, the other coach will want to give a warning that I should let the batter know she should run faster, she'll get called out. Okay? Where do we draw the line on warnings at that point? Because I was watching one umpire last year, they gave a warning on illegal pitches. Well, then their catcher had obstruction. The other team's catcher had obstruction. I'd like a warning. Okay, on those types of calls. This is a great example. The umpire was calling. So this girl, she's stepping on, brings those hands right together, calls her illegal. Steps on, brings those hands right together, calls her illegal. Kept calling it. She worked it out. Okay, call it a couple. It's an easy illegal pitch for them to fix. When she begins the pitch, she brings her hands together once and only once. Pivot foot needs to remain in contact. This is the other one that we see some pitchers do. Watch that pivot foot right there. She takes it, she rocks back, and that foot's coming up off the pitching. We all see what I'm talking about. That is the base umpire's call. Make that call. Okay? That is a huge advantage, in my opinion, that she's getting that rocking motion. That's a lot of extra momentum that she's getting right there. Legal pitch penalties. I'm going to say this one too. If you're unsure of legal pitch penalties, on our site, we have a document where you can actually click through and make sure you know all of those legal pitch penalties. I'm gonna say this one too. I had coaches emailing me throughout the year. Thing that made me happy was at the start of the year, I was getting, hey, Dan, is there a real emphasis on illegal pitches? No, it's always been a thing that we've always been called. You know, it seems like more are getting called this year. That it's something that, you know, that we're calling. They were complaining about, hey, why is this getting called? As the year went on, I was getting, hey, we're seeing this. Why isn't this being called? Okay. Don't want to be the one that's not enforcing the rules. I always love the line of she hasn't been called all year. I will tell you this, they don't complain when she doesn't get called. She's been doing it all year. I'm sure I've had coaches, I had one, I'll tell you right now, I had the pitcher the one night when I was first starting this position as rules interpreter. My partner was calling her for illegal pitches. The next day, I saw the team was at the same place. It was a JV pitcher. I saw the same girl was coming up. I thought, you know what? I'm gonna grab my iPad. I'm gonna take a video. This is a great example of the illegal pitch she's doing. Actually, it was when Aaron was umpiring and she was sidearming it the whole way. What did the coach say? It hasn't been called all year. I'm sitting there in the stand. I know damn well she was called last night. Okay. If one of the runners does not advance, the coach gets the option of the results of the play or the illegal pitch. If you're making the call as the base umpire, just at the end of the play, time. Jason, I have an illegal pitch. Jason now is going to go over to the coach and he's going to give the coach their options. If there a lot happen, get together and just make sure we're all set on what the options. Hey, Jason, really quick. We had a lot of runners moving around. I just want to talk about what happened. We're not gonna have that talk like this, but I'm gonna run in and make sure we know what we're doing. If the manager takes the result of the illegal pitch, it's a ball on the batter, all runners go back. So a couple different plays right here, balls hit out into right field. She's put out. We have the choice, the results of the play or the ball on the batter. She's out, they're probably gonna take the ball on the batter, okay? We have no option if we have if the batter and all the runners move up one base, there's no option given. If they pass a base, it's considered to have been touched, just like it always was. So if we have it hit out into right field that was not caught, this was a grounder. She ends up going for second base. Good job, you're out. Okay, the coaches, there are a couple coaches who believe that they get to just run all over and keep going. That is not the case. I know I'm preaching the choir here, but that is not the case. We have that runner put out at first. This is where it gets interesting. Coach, you want the results of the play. That runner at first is out, but that runner from second to third goes and she's gonna achieve third. Depending on the situation, the game, and the pitch in their face, they might go, we haven't had a runner at third all day. I'll take it because now I've got one out. Now, I already said this. Or they can have the ball, but they've got to put that runner back on the second. Now, if we have,
Hey, Dan,
yes,
is it the batter gets the first safety
and the runners all move up one base.
So if you have a illegal pitch.
Correct.
Sharp shot to short, right? Runner on second stays at second, but batter makes first with the illegal pitch.
They have their choice, the result of the play, or a ball in the batter. There, depending on the batter, they might say, you know what, we'll put a ball on her because this girl can really jack it. And we're going to give her a shot to move the runner up. We don't want to have a force. Or they might say, you know what, we're happy with 2 runners on base. Okay, but yeah, they don't move, you give the option.
In Derek's example, there was a runner on second, is that what it was?
Runner on second that did not advance, the batter got the first.
And it
hit.
doesn't even matter, of course, that they weren't forced, so yeah.
True. Okay, now in this play, she ends up getting around. Again, this is one opposite of what you're saying. It's nullified because everybody achieved 1 base. Okay, hit by pitch, they get the base. They don't have a choice. Okay, you're getting the result of the play. So I'm gonna skip through a couple of these. Okay. I've already said this, but remember the step back has to be before they separate their hands. Separate their hands and step back, that's problem. So what we're looking for right here, this girl, absolutely fine. I don't think we're gonna see this, but I don't wanna say never. Okay, I never wanna say never. She brings the steps back with her hands together, she's good. Same thing, even if they start back, they can step back from there. And it's still absolutely fine. Boom, pitch starts when the hands are separated. As soon as that occurs, they're gone. Couple things I want to go over with that delivery. Ball needs to be released. So right here, this young lady, this is going to be a problem. Ooh, that's an illegal pitch. Okay, here now it's just gonna be a ball in the batter. This is back when they got the base award. So that was the game-winning run. But that's not only embarrassing, but not good. We can't exceed those 1.5 revolutions. It's highlighted obviously because that's what happens. The hand can go past the hip twice, which is always allowed to. The wrist cannot be outside the elbow. This is the one I was just talking about with Aaron. Okay, so we have this pitcher. I will tell everybody just something to look for. They're finishing up and it's like this. Odds are good, it's sidearm. So what we're looking for as well is this part of my hand outside of this part of my elbow. If you have anything out like this, that's gonna be an illegal pitch. First one you might not get, but you need to be aware. As soon as you go, whoa, something doesn't look right, we need to start watching. Same thing, this young lady ran into problems because they went through the whole year not being called, according to the coach. Yeah. It's sectionals, now we got some problems. Okay? Need to call that, guys. We don't want them to move through the season. And it's called by some people and not others. Can't stop during the pitch. If they stop because of something the batter does, please remember, no pitch on that. Must be on the throwing arm side of the body. This is a biggie, and I keep seeing it more and more. And a girl got top play on ESPN for this, so it's gonna happen at some point. They can't make a revolution after they release the ball. I see it more and more now out there. If they release the ball and keep going, I've heard it called a slip pitch. I've heard it called a bunch of things. That, she's very happy. She's gonna throw this during a game. And then the situation is going to be, Sean's gonna get her, he's gonna go, that was cute, illegal pitch, okay? They can't intentionally drop the ball, but if the ball slips from the pitcher's hand, it's legal. That happens, everything stands, they can run. Now, if that was intentional, they got away. Remember, one forward step can be taken. If they move ahead and they're pushing off from an area closer to home, that pitch is illegal. So we see she turns her foot right here and goes, that is an illegal pitch. Same thing right here. She can't be outside the 24-inch parameters. We have the shoots in if you watch on TV, they have the shoot. We don't have it in high school. There are two fields where they put it in turf, where they put it on their turf. Can't control that. And same thing, if you're calling, that is your judgment. You call, the coach goes, I don't think she is. Will you draw where the line is? No, that is not our job. Don't draw baselines, don't draw shoots. When they want to pay you to be a grounds crew member, then guess what? Then you can start drawing on the field. Okay? If we see that that's off, that is our call. So remember, both feet must be outside of the pitching plate when the pitch is released. You see it, call it. If you think you see it, then if you think you see it, don't call it yet, but you need to be aware. Okay? I like this one, actually.
Wrong hand.
Oh, never mind. The mom made a beautiful sound in that one. She actually went, "Aw," I loved it. Thing to remember, if they move that foot forward, when they do that is always the front of the pitching plate up infinitely. So if she bends her foot there, she's got a problem. She keeps moving that up, that is an illegal pitch. She's pushing off from the area closer. Remember, if we're not calling it, I get, they'll be happy with you. Somebody asked me the other day, is leaping, do we call leaping? I said, not, if you want to go back to 2020 or back to 2019, yes. Remember, if you have something, the batter reacts to the pitcher reacts to the batter, no pitch. Anything like that where you're going, we're not going to have an illegal pitch due to it, or the batter's not ready, no pitch. I already went over the warm-up pitches. Oh, I will tell everybody too, just so I'm absolutely honest with everybody. If you look at and I told everybody, I told them I was doing this meeting, I was told, okay, we're not worried about that. I let the last fielder get off the base. I give them those last few seconds. Start my minute at that point. That is fine. If you're going on a minute 8, I don't care. We don't want to be standing there. And here's the other part. I know some of you guys have worked it out with the schools that you get paid by the hour. Good for you, okay? But if you allow an extra minute every inning, we now have an extra 15 minutes. You let them have 3 minutes, you're out there an extra half an hour. Keep them moving. And the other thing I noticed when I really started cracking down on this, the pace of everything increases. Everything gets better. Okay, ball slips from our hand, it's live, ball's declared. Foreign substances. please, again, when you get there, either you rough up the ball or have the players give it to a first baseman. Hey, toss this in the ground a few times for me, and then give it a little rough up. The fact is, we don't want them to have a brand new ball when they're pitching. Dirt, even on a turf field, is not a foreign substance. Now, if they take it and they rub it into the dirt like this, it's illegal. It's not because they're applying a foreign substance, it's because they're defacing the ball by scratching it up like that. I can do that all day. That's up to me. So usually if I see a pitcher doing that, it's because the umpire didn't take care of the ball before the game. Make sure it's ready. Effective reps. Catcher, I will tell you, one of the rule differences is that the federation box is only 7 feet deep as opposed to 10. Call the field as it is. We're not gonna make everybody rip up the turf. Okay, also with that, the catcher needs to return the ball directly back to the pitcher every pitch. If they don't, it's a ball in the batter. Had a girl last year, we had 3 balls, 1 strike. I called strike 2, she got up, yeah, great, she throws it down to third. Now